Hello guys, hello students, welcome to my channel The Study Hub. Today I will discuss about same chapter 1, basic concepts of chemistry, the part 4. Yesterday I have discussed about the mole and uska use, why mole concept, molecular mass, molar mass, etc. And today I will discuss the rest part of these chapters. I hope after the total completions of these chapters, it will be clear to all of you. And obviously, the numerical problems also be solved after completion the theoretical parts. First theoretical part will be completed, then numerical part will be completed. Okay? So let's start. So yesterday the part 3 में क्या डिस्कस किया, मोल, व्हाट इज मोल, मोल कॉन्सेप्ट, हु हैज गिवन द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ मोल, इसका वैल्यू 6.022 10 to the power 23, how the value we obtain the value I have discussed in extra classes. And 1 mole of any atoms, molecules, ions, the particles is same, that is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. Suppose 1 mole, again I am just recapitulating it, 1 mole of hydrogen atom, 1 mole of carbon atom, 1 mole of any particles, 1 mole of molecules, the oxygen molecules, nitrogen molecules, any molecules, water molecules. तो 1 मोल मोलिकुल्स, 1 मोल हाइड्रोजन एटम, उसमें क्या नंबर होगा 6.022 10 to the power 23 एटम्स ऑफ हाइड्रोजन. क्लियर? तो 1 मोल कार्बन एटम, दिस नंबर ऑफ कार्बन एटम्स. 1 मोल्स ऑफ any particles, this number of particles will be present. Okay, this number of particles will be present, this number of particles will be present, this number of atoms will be present, this number of atoms will be present. 1 mole of molecules, this number of molecules will be present. Same thing, if you convert in 1 mole of hydrogen atom means 12 gram of carbon atom, 12 gram of carbon atom, 1 gram of 1 mole of carbon atom, 1 gram of this is carbon, this is hydrogen. Clear? 1 mole of carbon atom, 12 gram of carbon atoms, 1 mole of hydrogen atoms, 1 gram of hydrogen atom. Same thing, 1 mole of any particles, the relative mass of those particles in gram. We can tell 1 mole of molecules means molecular mass in gram, molecular mass in gram, and 1 mole of atoms means gram atomic mass. That means gram molecular mass in case of molecule. That means 6.022 atoms, and 1 mole molecular means GMM. That means these molecules. So 1 moles of atom, gram atomic mass. That means this number of atoms. 1 mole of molecules, ग्राम मोलिकुलर मास, मोलिकुल का जो मोलिकुलर मास है उस ग्राम है वो है सेम. 1 mole of molecules means gram molecular mass, that is number of 6.022 10 to the 23 molecules. Clear? This is the mole concept. Okay, this is the total. The 1 mole of any atoms, molecules, particles, ions, all are same number of ions, atoms, particles, molecules. Okay, this concept you must remember. Okay, the next topic starts limiting reagent. क्या है limiting reagent? limiting reagent what is limiting reagent? Now down limiting reagent क्या है? What do you know? In case of any reactions, a reactant is required to obtain the product. Any reactions, suppose A plus B, product is AB. The reactant में जो है उसमें लिमिटिंग रिएक्टेंट क्या है। तो इन ऑर्डर टू completions of a reactions, in order to completions of a chemical reaction, one of the reactant is taken in excess and other is in less amount. Between these two reactant, which is less in amount, that is known as the limiting reagent. After the completions of the reactions, one of the reactant is left over, which is excess is left over, that is after completions of the reactions, that is the one of the reactant do not consumed fully and another reactant is consumed fully. That is one reactant do not consume totally and other consume which is less in quantity is totally consumed after the completions of the reactants. Okay, say suppose A plus B, this is the reactant and this reactant मिला के क्या है, AB is the product. You can write C is the product. So AB is the product, A plus B, AB. In this case, out of A and B, one of the reactant will be limiting. That means one will be taken in excess and one will be in less in amount. After completions of the reaction, chemical reactions, this will be excess and one will be consumed fully. Say, for example, if you taken 15 gram of A, 10 gram of B, that it is original, it is required. 15 gram of A react with 10 gram of B to form AB. So this is the reactant and this is to obtain the product. This is the required quantity. But in case if you give out here, it is 15 gram and it is given 5 gram or it is 10 gram, anything, either this or this. In case of A, the reactant 15 gram, B, the reactant 5 gram, the react to form AB. In this case, what? Originally, what is required? 15 gram में 10 gram जरूरत है. But out is what is there? 5 gram. तो 5 ग्राम में तो 15 ग्राम जरूरत नहीं है. ओके, तो 10 ग्राम में 15, तो 5 ग्राम में ये ज़्यादा नहीं लगेगा, ये थोड़ा कम लगेगा. It will be excess, some excess will be there and it will be fully consumed and the product will form. So it will be the limiting reagent. Or in this case, 10 gram, that is A required 15 gram, A is given 10 gram, B is required 10 gram, B is given 10 gram. That is, it is the correct. Excess will be, it is less, it will be the limiting reagent. Because 10 ग्राम का साथ ज़रूरत है 15 ग्राम, यहाँ पर 10 ग्राम ही है, यहाँ पर तो 10 ग्राम नहीं है. But I have to limit. I do not bother about what is my excess. I will bother about what is my less in amount. That will be the bother about. Okay, that means I have to depend this type of only this reactant. Depending upon this reaction, we have to require what amount of B is required. 10 ग्राम के लिए 10 ग्राम B जरूरत नहीं है. Okay, so this is the limiting reagent. That means 10, the 10 से 15, तो 10 ग्राम में 15 लग जाए, 1 ग्राम में 15 by 10 कितना ज़रूरत है इसमें 5 ग्राम, तो 5 ग्राम में कितना होगा 7.5, okay. 5 2 is 10, 2 15, okay. 7.5 gram. That means only we required 7.5 gram, but we have कितना 15 ग्राम. प्लस ज़्यादा नहीं लगेगा, ओके. ये हाफ हो गया, ये भी हाफ हो गया 7.5. दैट मीन्स 7.5 will be excess amount. After the completion reaction, 7.5 gram will be in the reactant in excess in amount. Clear? The concept is clear. Suppose you have सब यहाँ के एग्जाम्पल सेम है. तुमको कुछ बनाना है, कुछ बनाने के लिए एक सामान जो है वो फिक्स्ड है, उसका by depending upon that particular thing you have to prepare other things. So that particular things is not available, your production will not be available. If that particular thing is limited, your production will be limited. Clear na? What you know? है ना? 1 cup, that is milk. You are preparing tea, that is for 1 cup. Maximum you can prepare 1 cup or 2 cup of tea. We have sufficient amount of tea leaves, sugar sufficient 2 kg, 500 gram tea leaves are, sugars are there 2 kg, but only you are limited 1 full cup of milk. So with this little amount of milk, you have to prepare the tea for your guest. The how many amounts of cup of tea you can prepare, that depends upon the milk you have. Of course, you have to make tea. So this is the limiting reagent. This is excess, but this is limited. And depending upon this, you are preparing your milk tea. Okay, दूध चा. It depends upon this. If it is sufficient, you can prepare sufficient amount of tea, but it is limited, so there is maximum 1 or 2 cup of tea. This indicates which reaction, how reaction will proceed. So limiting reagent क्या है, उसका जरूरत क्या है? Limiting reagent means very important, is defined as the limiting reagent is defined as the reactant which is completely consumed during the reaction. Clear? Limiting reagent, note karo, limiting reagent is defined as the reactant which is completely consumed during the reaction. The excess reactant is that which is not completely consumed. And it is very important to choose the limiting reagent. Why? As it decides the amount of the product obtained. The limiting reagent should be chosen clearly. It decides amount of product will form. This is the product. An example, suppose N2 plus 3H2. N2 plus 3H2 क्या है? Twice NH3. ये जो reaction है, 1 mole of nitrogen, 3 mole of hydrogen reacts and they produce the ammonia. Okay? 1 mole of nitrogen, 3 mole of hydrogen produce 2 mole of ammonia. So in these reactions, if you are to find which is the limiting reagent, something will be given out there, and what will be the product, amount of product form, question may come, and find the limiting reagents. Suppose it will be given 50 gram of, this is 1 mole, and this is 3 mole, this is 2 mole. Suppose it is given 50 gram nitrogen reacts with 10 gram of hydrogen and produce something, the ammonia. Amount of product you can write. So find the amount of product कितना होगा, and find the limiting reagent out there. 50 gram of nitrogen, 10 gram of hydrogen react to form the ammonia. Okay, see out here, what you know from these reactions, N2 molecule, इसका that means here see 3 mole, it is 1 mole. We can write 3 mole, or what you can write 3 mole, this is 1 mole, or N2 का molecular 28 gram we can write. Here 3 mole or 6 gram we can write 6 gram. तो 28 ग्राम के साथ 6 ग्राम हाइड्रोजन जरूरत है. इसमें क्या दिया हुआ है 50 ग्राम और 10 ग्राम. हमारा जरूरत क्या है, स्टैंडर्ड रिक्वायर्ड रिएक्टेंट जरूरत क्या है 28 ग्राम के साथ 6 ग्राम हाइड्रोजन. 1 मोल नाइट्रोजन का साथ 3 मोल हाइड्रोजन जरूरत है अमोनिया प्रोडक्ट के लिए. दैट मीन्स 28 ग्राम का साथ 6 ग्राम जरूरत है. क्लियर. तो लेट्स सी, if you see, let hydrogen be limiting reagent. So what is know 3 mole or 6 gram, 3 mole or 6 gram hydrogen react with nitrogen 1 mole or 28 gram. That means 6 gram hydrogen react with 28 gram of nitrogen. So you have given 10 gram. The 10 gram of hydrogen react with कितना 28 by 6 into 10, 46.6 gram. So 10 gram of hydrogen react with 46.6 gram of nitrogen. 10 gram of hydrogen react with 46.6 gram of nitrogen. But what is given out here 50 gram. That means it is in excess. It is excess. Clear. The 46.6, that is the amount of nitrogen is given for 50, but requirement is there 46.6. This is excess. So this is excess. So what is excess? That will be left over after the completion of the reaction. So which is less in amount? Hydrogen. So it is the limiting reagent. Here this is limiting reagent. Our guess is correct. Our guess is correct. तो 46 का साथ कितना हुआ 10 ग्राम. तो 46 plus 10 56.6 ग्राम. the product जो होगा law of conservation of mass. Clear? This type of sums may come in the exam. Find the limiting reagent and find the product. Clear? Clear बच्चों? Note it down. Okay. Next. Now, yesterday I also discussed about the empirical formula and molecular formula difference क्या है. You know what is empirical formula, what is molecular formula. You know I have discussed. So how to find out the empirical formula, molecular formula by certain conditions. Some data will be given. You have to find out the empirical formula and you have to find out the molecular formula and also vapor density. I also discussed. So just I am discussing about the how to find out the empirical formula and molecular formula from a data given. The first, what is empirical formula? So, listen, empirical formula is that. What is empirical formula? Molecular formula you know, and how to find out molecular mass you know. The empirical formula express the simplest whole number ratio of various atoms present in a compound. Clear? Now write or tell again. I am telling. It represents empirical formula represents empirical formula and molecular formula. Empirical formula represents the simplest whole number ratio of various atoms present in molecules or in compound. Present in a compound. That is the simplest ratio. किसका? Of atoms. Okay, of atoms. So how to write the empirical formula? I am coming fast. Before I am giving an example. Suppose you know the molecular formula and empirical formula. The C6H12O6, C2H6, C4H10. ये जो कंपाउंड है एक मोलिकुलर फार्मूला है कि किसका ग्लूकोज का. इसका क्या है इथेन, ब्यूटेन, ग्लूकोज. सो मेनी कंपाउंड्स आर देयर. दिस इज द मोलिकुलर फार्मूला. From this molecular formula, we can write the number of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and what are the total number of carbon and hydrogen in each of the compounds you can easily know. And this is the actual formula of a molecule. That is the molecular formula. But if you write what is empirical formula, it is the simplest ratio. Simplest ratio means it will be CH2O. It will be CH3. It will be C2H5. Simple whole number ratio. Simple ratio of the atom present in a compound. Ratio of that means इसमें 1 है, 1:2:1, 1:3, 2:5. Simple ratio of the atoms present. Carbon atoms कितना 1, hydrogen atom कितना 3, 1:3. Simple ratio या 2:6, 6:12:6. Simple ratio क्या होगा 1:2:1. One thing it is notice out here. See, if you from molecular formula to empirical formula, what we are doing? Simple ratio means we are to divide some number. Here we divide 6, C6 and C1, H2. We have to divide. And reverse case, if you multiply 6, 12, 6, from here to here, you can multiply. You can multiply certain number. Here also, you can divide from this to this, and from this to this multiply, this to this, and this to this. That means a certain number you can divide or you can multiply from here to this and this to this. Okay? In number n, in natural numbers, you have to multiply or divide. Molecular formula to empirical formula, empirical formula to molecular formula. So n number you have to multiply with the empirical formula to obtain the molecular formula. So what is the n? I am coming. So how to write the empirical formula? Thus there are some algorithms or steps you are writing. Out here, see the algorithms I am telling. Not I am writing, I will write. It is in the book. Okay? Go through the book carefully. You have also learned in class 10. Those who are my students, they all know how the empirical formula to write. It is onto especially for ICSE students. These are theirs, not CBSE there. So, what are the algorithms? I am telling the algorithms. First steps, how to write the empirical formula. Some percentage will be given. Suppose in some conditions कार्बन, हाइड्रोजन, ऑक्सीजन, नाइट्रोजन जो भी हो उसका परसेंटेज दे देगा, उसका मोलिकुलर फार्मूला भी दे देगा और समथिंग वेपर डेंसिटी भी उसमें गिवन. So from that point, how to find out empirical formula? There will be a table. You can write the tables. Before the tables, without tables you can do it. First, you divide the percentage of each element. Divide the percentage of each element by the atomic mass. Percentage divided by atomic mass. Why? Suppose carbon percentage, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen percentage of 48%, 28%, 20%, and 2 plus 6 42. Okay, 100%. Okay, 32. Okay, this is in a compound. 32% is the percentage. So first you have to divide the percentage by atomic mass. इसका atomic mass 48 by 12. इसका atomic mass 20 by 1. इसका 32 by 16. Atomic mass, not molecular mass. That divide the percentage by that atomic mass. Why? It gives the relative number of atoms. That is number of moles. That is number of moles of different atoms. Different elements present in the compound. जो compound है CHO के द्वारा जो compound है वो कंपाउंड का नंबर ऑफ मोल्स बताएगा क्यों? जब तुम डिवाइड करो परसेंटेज के साथ उसका एटॉमिक मास। दूसरा क्या होगा, इसका तो वैल्यू आएगा, थोड़ा आएगा। ये जो वैल्यू आएगा, डिवाइड द quotient, this is the quotient, and these quotients will be divided what by which? We will divide the smallest number among, এর মধ্যে যেটা smallest হবে, that smallest number will be divided each of the quotient. Clear? Necessary to, in order to get whole number ratio, in order to get the whole number ratio, so that we can get the whole number ratio we can get, and multiply this figure so obtained by a suitable integer. It will divide, then multiply in suitable integer with all these number to get a whole number ratio. And finally, lastly, write down the symbol of different elements side by side. Write the symbol of different elements side by side and with a subscript, okay, to the lower right down corner, and this will give the empirical formula. अब molecular formula क्या है? Molecular formula is the exact number of different types of elements found in a molecule of a compound. It represents the exact number of different types of elements present in a molecule of a compound. इसका भी algorithm है, कैसे लिखना है? Determine the empirical formula, then find out the empirical formula mass by adding their atomic mass. Determine the molecular mass by proper method we know, and find the value of the n, that is the why the n equals to molecular mass by empirical formula mass. Again I am telling, so this concept you have to know. This is the rules are given in the book, so I am giving some examples, one or two examples, so that empirical formula or molecular formula you can find. Suppose a compound whose molecular weight is given 14, 80, 90, 80, जो 80, 90 is given, 90, molecular weight equals to 90. Clear? इसका empirical formula given, CH02 given. The molecular weight given, empirical formula given. If you have to find out empirical formula given, molecular weight given, you have to find out the molecular formula of the compounds. How to find out molecular formula? You have to find molecular weight is given, okay, and empirical formula given. So how to find molecular formula? The molecular formula, what is the form? No, the molecular formula equals to n into empirical formula. What is n? We know n number. What I am telling, I have told you the n, the number you have to divide, you have to multiply a certain number, that is n. N equals to molecular weight by empirical formula weight. Molecular weight by empirical formula weight. In this way you can find out the value of n. So what is the molecular weight is given? 90. Yes, empirical formula CH2, इसका weight कितना होगा? बोलो 12 plus 1 plus 32, 16 to 32. Clear? Carbon 12 101 कितना होगा? 2135. Okay, 315 45. That is, it will be 2. That is n, value of n equals to 2. So molecular formula equals to is very easy, very important. The molecular formula equals to n into empirical formula, 2 into empirical formula कितना है? CH02. That means C2H2O4. What I write? Superscript in the right corner down. This is the molecular formula. निकाल गया. So yeah, what you know? Molecular formula equals to n into empirical formula. How to find out N? Molecular weight by empirical formula weight. Clear? No. So in this type, sometimes you have to know the vapor density, Vd. It will be given m equals to 2D, m equals to 2 into vapor density, molecular weight 2 into vapor density. ये नहीं दिया हुआ है vapor density given. In that case, I am giving an examples. Suppose you are ready? Okay. Suppose vapor density is given. Same thing. This sums I am giving. थोड़ा घुमा के what is given? Vapor density given 45, vapor density given, empirical formula given, CHO2 given. So you have to find molecular formula. Find molecular formula. Formula कितना होगा? You have to find out. So molecular formula what? What you know? Molecular formula equals to what? 2 into Vd. Molecular formula? No, molecular weight. Weight equals to 2 into Vd. That is 2 into 45 equals to 90. What is given? Molecular weight 90. So molecular weight is given. Empirical formula, molecular formula, weight given, vapor density given. It is given. How? इसका weight निकालो. Empirical formula weight. Same thing. Molecular weight by this. Find N. Then find molecular formula. Clear? Same process. Okay? Same process you do. And sometimes last sums I am giving an example. Last. Suppose in a compound carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, percentage of carbon is given. Carbon percentage is given 48%. Hydrogen is given 6.7%. Okay. Or oxygen given rest of 56. That is कितना होगा? 46, 8, 7, 44. Okay. And 8, 2, 7 though, 1, 7. 45.3. This is the percentage of oxygen. $55. 7, 1, 8, 8, 1, 9. Question 2 is ঠিক আছে? This is this, and find out molecular weight will be given something. You have to find out the empirical formula or molecular formula. So what is the rules I have given? So from this you have to divide their percentage by their mass. Okay, 6.7 by 1 and 45.3 by 16. Divide it. You have to find it, and from this which is the smallest ratio, divide the smallest ratio, and multiply to get the whole number ratio, then write the empirical formula. From empirical formula you have find empirical formula weight, molecular weight given, you find N, then all will be given. Okay, so in this process, jot down the process step by step, it will be clear to you. Okay, today it is clear. Next day last law of chemical combinations I will discuss. So here I draw my ends. My dear students, check it, go through this very carefully. So subscribe it, comment it, and share it among your friends. Goodbye.